What is up, guys? Welcome. Crypto FUD. And let's jump right into this, guys. Well, hope you guys are having a great Tuesday, having a great start to your week. Seeing a little bit of movement in the market. Nothing too crazy, but we're in the green today, I guess, right? What is going on, Jay? What's going on, Flip? Gina, Old, what's going on, guys? Welcome. Jay said slap that like. Smash it, whatever you got to do. Just interact with that like button, all right? Well, welcome, guys. So let's jump right in here. We won't be too long today. Just like I said yesterday, struggling really to get content as far as like what's going on in the crypto market. But we do have some good articles that we are going to read. But nothing too crazy. As you guys can see, earlier today, we did run up to about 61,400. Not looking too bad, but still trading around in that same area, right? We've had a little spurts where we've broken out above this 61.6 area, but it seems to be a spot that we are like literally, we didn't even come up and retest it. We just came near it and got rejected, right? So you can see as of now, as of yesterday, as of the last week, we are literally just chopping sideways for right now for Bitcoin, which is perfectly fine. I think what we need to see is this happen for a little while, kind of just get that, find that support that we're at right now. Pretty much 57.9 has been a big spot for some support. Obviously, we've dropped behind it maybe about one or two times, but since then we've had some solid support at that 57.9 area. So if we're going to consolidate at this area, not too bad. Obviously, we're kind of just waiting to see what's going to happen with the market. Are we going to go for a run? Today, we actually technically are back into the red, but we're down 0.1%. You can see the rest of the stock market as well. If you look at the top of the right screen, is in the red today. Not crazy down, but today was just one of those days where even the stock market was down. The VIX, which is volatile, which basically is a measure of how volatile the stock market is, was up 8%. So when you see the VIX is up, that usually means that there's some moves towards the downside for the stock market. And that's exactly what we've seen today. So Bitcoin right now, 59.4. Not looking too, bad, but not looking, obviously, still sitting in that boring stage that we've been sitting in. Obviously, I do have a trend line that we've been pretty much respecting since we've dropped down. Obviously, when we dropped down to this crazy drop, which I hope you guys took advantage of, when we bounced up at around 62.7. Obviously, since then, we have been making a trend line towards the downside. Yesterday, we did break above, which was looking great. This was actually probably our biggest breakout that we've had over the trend, but you can see it was rejected, and look where we came right back down. Below the trend line, and then obviously below a level that's been a big spot for some resistance, 59.6. So what does that tell me? That we are still in the same situation that we were in yesterday, same situation that we were in a week ago. We're just consolidating to the side, right? And I keep telling you guys, this was the big thing that I was saying yesterday was, don't get bored out of your position. I see some people, not really us, but some people, some investors, they're just so used to that excitement that when Bitcoin does go into these stages where it's kind of just like, it seems boring. We're kind of going sideways. We're not dropping. We're not flying up. It gets boring out here. People sell because there's no excitement, and they sell it for losses too. And it's like, why do that when in a week from now, a day from now, maybe a month from now, we're going to see this market just start flying up again, and everything's going to be back to, just everything's going to be bullish, so why even take that hit, because you're bored and you want to sit on the sidelines, and you're going to miss out on when we start shooting up again. So I don't know, everybody's got their own little tactics, but definitely don't get bored out of your position. Solana right now, 143. It's kind of the same thing. We've been saying this, I feel like a broken record. I swear today, I was like, bro, I could probably replay this stream from yesterday, because it's like the exact same thing, right? We're sitting right under this 200-day moving average. Same thing for Bitcoin, right? 200-day moving average, and we can go through each project right now. Everything is sitting under its 200-day moving average, which is just telling me that the markets right now are just cooled off. They're consolidating. We're not really dropping much. We're sitting on the side. We're basically consolidating towards the sides, right, to the right side, obviously. And you can see for today, actually, when we look at the bubbles, a lot of projects, a lot of alts were actually doing pretty well. Crip said, Crip, can we get some bullish and bearish emojis? Yeah, bro, I got you. I asked you guys in the members only stream. I would have had it all set up for you, but I'll definitely, after we get off the stream, because if I add them right now, you won't be able to use them till the next stream. So I'll go ahead and I'll add those on for all the members for tomorrow. So what, like bullish and bearish? I got you, bro. I'm going to whip up something good here. Right now, if you had a bullish or bearish sign on the emojis, what would you put up, Jay? What would you put up? I think I'd probably put up a fork in the eye because it's just so freaking boring right now, right? Khalil, what's going on, brother? Jasmy's in the house. What's going on? Owen said, let's hear. Owen said, I watched some YouTubers live talking about Bitcoin, and some say this might be the last bull run. What's your thought? So what do you mean, like the last, whenever we get into this next run, whenever it is going to be the last run until for this bull run is what you mean? I guess we'd have to play it out how it goes, right? If we go on a run, right, let's just say in a week from now, Bitcoin's running. Let's say in a week from now, Bitcoin's running, and let me zoom out a little bit on the charts. So let's say in a month from now, a week from now, who cares about the time frame? Let's just say on our next run, Bitcoin's running and we make all-time highs, right? We make an all-time high, runs up to 78,000, right? And immediately gets rejected and it comes back down towards around where we're at right now. I don't know if I would be sold on that was it, right? Usually, and I say usually, right? And I do agree that we probably have one more solid run in this bull run that we're in until we really start leveling out and then probably getting ready for, whatever's going to happen as far as after this election, if we're going to see another bear market coming on the horizon. It just doesn't seem like we're there yet, right? So I would agree partially on, yes, I do think we have one more big run, but I'm saying big run as in like Bitcoin runs up to wherever it's going, 78, 80, 90,000, and we stay at these higher levels for some time, right? For at least a month or two, where we're kind of sitting around there, because normally when that happens is when you're going to see alts get into altcoin season, right? We have not seen that happen. So I do agree with that. But the first scenario that I was saying that is if we see some kind of a giga pump and Bitcoin does run up and make all-time highs, but it gets rejected immediately and we come right back down, I'm not sold on that was the last move for this market, right? Now, it could play out like that. This bull run has been, when I tell you this bull run has been so different than every single 4-year cycle, I'm not even exaggerating. That's why you have a lot of these, YouTubers that have been out for, a few cycles. A lot of YouTubers that at least were out for the last bull run, trying to compare, to now to like back in, 2018, 2019, up into about 2021 when we were in the last bull run. It's so different. It really is. It's so different. We feel like we have not gotten that, that max euphoria yet, right? So we're all kind of like, well, this can't be it. We got to wait. We have to wait. It's still coming. It just feels different this time. It does feel different. So I do think that I do agree with us having one more, big run. But I'm thinking this run's going to, we're going to stay up there for probably a few weeks, few months, whatever the case is. So Gina said, please check NFK. What's NFK doing, Gina? Just kidding. NFK right now on our watch list is the top right now, looking, holy crap, couple of things I want to point out. So NFK right now is at the top right now. Look at this, up 14%, not looking too shabby, not looking too bad right now. We definitely had a nice little move. I think it was last night. Look at this beautiful W pattern that we have formed right here. So doesn't look bad at all. I will tell you right now, and I've been telling you guys this for the last few days, not NFK, but DeFi in general has been just slowing down like crazy, right? I don't think it's over with whatsoever, right? But it's been slowing down. So NFK really has been holding strong. We're sitting here around that $70,000 market cap. Think about that, $70,000 market cap. So small. You guys we saw last night a big buy come in around $845, and it moved the market up 10% off of just that. Imagine when we start seeing thousands of dollars flowing back in on NFK when the markets are getting back to the confidence level and DeFis are flowing. It's going to just move very rapidly, right? I think what we saw with NFK is we saw a lot of the paper hands, or the people that were getting restless, expecting to be a millionaire within a month. A lot of these people sold off, right? A lot of these people sold off and they moved on, which, it stinks. We didn't want to lose them, but at the same time, it's probably better off because, it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. And now I think what we have left is, what do we have? We have 300 plus wallets, right? 300 plus holders right now sitting for the long haul, right? With patience, waiting to see where are we going to head to, right? How high are we going to get this time? Our last full run, what did we get to? About $2.3 million. We could easily break that. And think about if we run up past $2.3 million from where we're at right now, just the gains that we're going to see at 70,000 going up to $2.3 million. You're talking about some 30x's from where we're at right now. So some massive moves. It's going to take time. It's going to take time. I'm all here with you guys, just like all of us, right? We have 312 people that are in the project, holding for the long term. So, but it looks good. Beautiful W pattern right now. What I would love to see is us break above this trend line. Not like this. I want to see us break above this trend line like those staircases, and us just go right up to this breakout zone. When we get to this breakout zone at around the 57, 58 area, I'm thinking that we're going to probably see some massive moves. Now, that's going to be a big move from here to here, right? So we're going to see some paper hands in between, right? It's inevitable. But I think the buyers are going to overcome at the end of the day, and we're going to get to those levels, and we're going to keep moving, right? And we're going to get right back on track. What were we calling last time? We were saying that we wanted to get to $50 million market cap as a starter. We definitely can do that. So doesn't look bad at all. NFK right now, $66,000 market cap, micro market cap. This thing can fly. Wanted to point some things out here off of our watch list since we jumped right into DeFi. Some people have been asking me about this Restore the Public. Did you guys see this massive move? Look at this thing. This thing ran up. Remember, we marked a spot for some support, which didn't buy in, right? I'm freaking pissed, and this thing shot up 100% up to this 87 level, but you can see it was fast. And you can see a lot of people, right when it ran up, sold the hell out. So right now you can see it's down 26%, from yesterday and trickling down. I'm interested to see if it's going to come back down to these levels around this 40, 41 level. I wouldn't be mad. I probably would maybe jump in small time on this project to see what's going on. I do think that this project, I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if we find out down the road that this thing is backed by the Trumps. And remember, we're not getting political. If I already told you guys, if Kamala comes out with the same thing, if we can get in at a good time, we're jumping in, because all these little political projects, take the emotion out, take your politics out. All these little political projects, especially if you find out they're backed by a certain party, these things will freaking run. These things will run. You can make some good money on it if you put your emotions aside, right? Let's see here. Jay said he's bullish for this week. Old said, good job, NFK. Gina said, that's what I saw, the W on the chart. Hell yeah, W in the chat. Philly said, okay, I'll buy more tomorrow. Nice. I think we're trying to set up. Is it Jasmy? Jasmy's been trying to set up like a group buy for everybody in the Discord. I think it's like, even if it's just like $5 on Wednesdays, if I'm not mistaken. So we could talk about that in the Discord. We'll see how that goes. Now, another thing I wanted to point out, holy crap. Remember we were talking about, and I don't even want to bring this project up, but remember we were talking about this a while back, this freaking corgi with knife. Look at this thing right here. Freaking tanked. Look at this project. Looks like the devs are abandoning. Look at this. Devs are abandoning this project. They couldn't make it, bro. They couldn't make it. They folded. Look at that. Pulled out all this. You can see when you see that remove, that means they're removing liquidity. You've never seen that on NFK. You know why? Because we can't remove liquidity on NFK. Everything's 100% locked in, right? So you don't have to deal with any of that stuff. But this project definitely folded for sure. Cronos right now is struggling. I know calls up slightly, about 1%, but I mean Cronos as a DeFi right now is absolutely struggling. It really is. It's getting hard to cover Cronos for right now. We might have to put a pause on Cronos. I'm just kidding. I'm always going to cover Cronos here and there, but it's just at a period right now where it's just like, holy crap, it's so boring for Cronos. So, whatever. We're not worried about that stuff right now. So, but yeah, everything right now, like I said, we're chopping to the side, guys. Don't get bored. Don't get psyched out of your positions. We're going to be good. NFK is going to run to the moon. You know what I'm saying? You guys know. It's the typical stuff that we're dealing with, right? Now, looking at the bubbles right now, you guys can see a couple of solid movers. Brett came back out of nowhere from the dead, 15%. HTX, I have no idea what this project is. HTX is up 26%. BitTorrent, Floki is up 8%. I saw an article on Floki. We'll cover that. Dog with Hats up 8%. Matic is up 7%. Arweave. So you have a lot of projects right now that are not doing too bad. But if you look at the weekly, for the most part, projects are down. This HTX has been kicking. Arweave's up 33%. That's crazy. That is crazy. I didn't even realize it was up so much for the week. But if you go to the month, I don't think anything can really scare. Arweave is still up. HTX and Helium is still up for the month. That's crazy. But look at the rest of the market. Deep in the red. Still down 30, 20, and 30% for the month on all these projects right now. So that right there just gives you a clear indication that, yes, from that major drop that we saw, right? From that major drop that we saw about 2 weeks ago, we have recovered. But if you look at these projects, we have not recovered anywhere near where we were at just 2 weeks ago for a lot of projects. I mean, pretty much for everything, other than a couple of these outliners like HTX and Helium and Arweave, right? Other than that, everything else is down like at least 30% right now. So I mean, even Ethereum right now is down 26% right now. That's insane. That is insane. That just shows you guys that we are nowhere out of this downward move that we've been in. Right now, Fear and Greed Index, 46. So it is slowly trickling up, but you guys know how it is. The other day we were down to 30, then we bounced to like 60, and then we came right back to 30. We've been going back and forth. We've been kind of hanging around this 45, 50 area for the last few days, and that pretty much just gives you an indication that the markets right now, a lot of people are sitting on the side, right? You have half the market kind of just like, what is going on with crypto? A lot of people aren't really buying more of whatever they're holding. They're kind of just sitting here. That's why you're seeing these alts for the month still down 30+%. So like I said, I don't think that we're going to see much excitement until we can really get Bitcoin up to some solid numbers. It looked like we were finally getting there, that we were going to maybe start seeing some movement towards the upside. I was waiting for us to come up and retest this 61.6 area, and we haven't been able to break above that. And then not even talking about the 200A. Once we break above this 200A, I think that's going to be calls for some good celebration, because I think that's when it's going to be a turning point in the market, and we're going to be back up to, just back up in action. Everything's open for buy. People are going to be flooding back in. But for right now, I think it's just going to be chopping to the side. Now, remember, guys, we have the FOMC minutes dropping tomorrow, which I told you guys was going to be pretty much like a nothing burger, in my opinion. I don't really anticipate that tomorrow's FOMC minutes is going to cause any more volatility than we've already been seeing. We might see a little bit right before the minutes are dropped in the morning. maybe a little bit of some sell-offs, but I don't think it's going to be too much. I think the big thing that everybody's kind of waiting for is Jerome Powell's speech on Friday from Jackson Hole. So I think that's going to be the big thing, because everybody's kind of waiting to see what the hell is going on with September, right? We have the September meeting coming up on the 28th, and right now this thing has been teeter and tottering back and forth. Yesterday, this thing was up to like 80% that the market was calling for only a quarter to maybe a 0.5%. Now we're going back over to, you have still majority of the market, 67.5% are calling for that quarter to a 0.5% interest deduction, or ease is what they'll call it, right? A reduction in interest rates. And now you have 32.5%. Looks like about 10% shifted over to, hold on, I still think that we're going to be seeing at least a 0.5 to maybe a 0.75 reduction in interest rates. I'm on the camp of, I'm honestly over here at the 67.5. Remember, for a brief time, I was over here, and then the whole Japan thing happened, and the unemployment just kind of, it's been trickling up, but I think it just moved faster than a lot of us expected. So I did move over to the 0.5 to 7.5 for this September meeting, but I'm really sticking to that. I think it's most likely going to be a 0.5, a 0.5% is what I think. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if he does just a 0.25%. And I told you guys this, when he does this, the markets are going to react positively, but I don't really think, unless the markets are already kind of on an upward move, or we're doing that Bitcoin run, like it likes to get into here and there, where we're running every day you get up, you wake up and Bitcoin's up, another $1,000, $2,000. If we're in that kind of a mood, this right here would be nothing but a positive thing, helping Bitcoin get up there and continue to move. If we're kind of sitting to where we are right now, and the Fed's, this is going to be in September, obviously, in about 28 days, so a little bit less than a month. If we're kind of sitting around in the same area that we're in right now, we'll have a good day, right? They tell us that they're reducing their interest rates, even if it's a 0.5%. We'll have a good day, right? But I don't see this taking us from, us being where we're at right now, in the lower 60s, higher 50s, up to all-time highs, right? There's just going to have to be a lot more, in the market, a lot more confidence coming into the market for us to move, in my opinion. So, Khalil said October is usually bullish for crypto. Yeah, don't they call it? No, they call it Pumptober. If I'm not mistaken, they call it Pumptober. Jay said, are we doing a watch party for Friday's Jerome for Powell's speech? What time is that speech? Let's find out, and I'll let you know. That's going to be at 2 o'clock. The reason why I can't dedicate and say hell yeah, because I would be available, but Friday I picked my daughter up from school around that time. So if we had a watch party, it would be just like him talking. I won't be in here commentating or you know what I'm saying, making those funny jokes that I normally do. It would just be him talking, you know what I'm saying? I don't feel like I would have a solid stream. So I would say for right now, unless things change and I can kind of alter my schedule, I'm going to say what we'll do is we'll have a stream after the fact, after whatever the hell is said for that day. Old said, cough, cough. Caspa's down 11% for the month. Khalil saying it's going to be a quarter. Ricky said, if we go down any further, I'm putting my life savings in this damn thing. If you're really looking for life savings, bro, you better wait for that massive dip, bro. This isn't enough, Ricky. You better wait till Bitcoin, if Bitcoin did a flash crash down to like 30,000 or something like that, I would be like, bro, I don't care who you have to go and go borrow money from your mom, put it in the market, right? Imagine everybody that bought in at 15K, Imagine everybody that bought in at 15K when we dropped down in the bear market just 2 years ago. We dropped down to 15K. Imagine that. Definitely a good move. And not even just Bitcoin, but any of your favorite alts. Solana was down to $7 freaking, guys. $7 freaking. Old said there's usually a big crash before a major rips, right? Historically. I mean, if you really go back and you look at Bitcoin's runs, you know, especially during the bull runs, you can say that is true per se. I don't know about big crashes before there's a big run, but maybe you can say it, because when you go back to 2021, you can see obviously we had this 2020, 2021, we saw a nice run, right? And then there would always be us making all-time highs, and then we'd crash, or not crash, well, I guess you could call this a crash because we went down 50% on this run, and we consolidated. Like I told you guys, we've covered this chart plenty of times. We consolidated for a solid 2 months in this period, right? It felt almost like what we're in right now in the boring sense of just like, oh my gosh, it's boring, but it was 10 times more bearish. Because imagine Bitcoin was at 64, almost 65K, and we dropped all the way down on the bottom, down to $28,000. Imagine if Bitcoin drops down into the 20s right now. You want to talk about bearish? It was bearish, and we were chopping to the side too for a while. So, you know, it feels close to what we're going through right now, but it's like nowhere near the emotional what you were seeing in the markets at that time. So I would agree with that somewhat. You know, there is usually a nice cool off, consolidation, and then the markets will pick right back up. You know, so we'll have to see. You know, they always say, you know, history doesn't repeat itself exactly, but it will look similar, right? It'll rhyme. You know, and if you really think about it, looking at where we're at right now, you know, I know there's a lot of lines, but if you can see, this is where we're at right now. Price is right where my mouse is. We really have not dropped much compared to what we saw back in 2021. That's the only thing that kind of doesn't scare me particularly, because I've been through it and I'm ready to eat up the dip, right? But I do have, like, I feel for some people that haven't been through that yet, you know, and if that's something that we're going to have on you know, that's in the near future, people are going to get wrecked. You know why? Not because if they're holding and we're down 50%, they're not going to get wrecked like that. They're going to get wrecked because they're going to sell, right? Because they're down 50, 70% on their altcoins. That's how they're going to get wrecked, right? And then just like we saw in 2021, after 2 months, the sun came back out and we started running again. And I tell you this, it was hilarious because we started running back, right? Bitcoin jumped back up to 40, 50, 60,000. Everything we went through for the last 2 months of people ready to jump off bridges and stuff like that was gone. Everybody was back to being bullish. Grandmas are coming up to me at the gym asking me, I heard about this Shiba. Should I put my retirement in Shiba? I'm not even lying to you. Someone came up to me and said that. I was like, I don't think so. I was like, they asked me when Shiba was at all-time highs. and they're like, should I buy in on Shiba? And I'm like, first of all, I'm like looking at it, I'm like, how the hell do you know about Shiba? You know, like you would think they would ask about Bitcoin or something. And grandma came and asked me about Shiba. She's like, I've been hearing about Shiba. And I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, how in the hell does she know about Shiba? But I was impressed. And I told her the truth. I said, listen, grandma, first of all, I'm impressed that you know about Shiba, right? And she's like, I have grandkids, you know. I'm like, I understand. I was like, well, they should be telling you right now, Shiba's at all-time highs, right? I don't know if you should be jumping in right now, you know. And I'm glad that I told this person that, because they did not buy in, you know. So, true story, guys. Manny, what's going on, brother? What is going on? What is going on, guys? But yeah, so you gotta prepare for it all, right? You gotta prepare for it all. You know, I like I said, guys, you sometimes, and it kind of, I understand what Old's saying. You kind of got to go through the bads before you get back into the goods. You know, this crypto journey, it seems when you're watching those YouTubers, those billionaire YouTubers and stuff like that, you know, it seems like it's just all like it's just like clear skies and everything is great. You buy in, you hold for a little while, and boom, you're rich, right? But it's nowhere near that for most people. Some people, they can just get it at the right time. You know, it's just right place, right time. But 99% of us are not going to do that. You know, we're not going to get into there, and it's going to take patience. Like I always tell you, it's always going to take patience. It's going to take that that great positioning as far as, getting in at a good time, like we've been covering as far as these dips and stuff like that for some certain these certain projects, just getting in at those good positions and having patience and knowing when, to take your profits, right? And doing it all over again. That's what it takes in crypto. But it's like a roller coaster ride. It's ups and downs, and it's ups and downs with your emotions as well. But I think once you go through it, like I've been through it, from like 2020, 2021, and I showed you that last crash that we went through. After going through that 50, because we went through it a few times, but that 50% crash was hell, right? Because I was fairly new, as far as in the crypto space, and it really like I was like, holy shit. There was times where I was like, I'm just going to sell at a loss. And I told you guys, I was like, out of nowhere, I was like, no, actually, you know what? I'm going to keep buying Ethereum. And every week I was just buying multiple whole Ethereums, just buying them and buying them, and it ended up paying out really well because Ethereum ended up doing like a 4 or 5x from what I was buying in on, a few months later. So Philly said, did you tell her about NFK? Nah, bro, this was back in 2021, dude. This is back in 2021, but if I see her again, I'm going to tell her. She still goes to the gym. Owen said, do you think this bull run will be bigger than the previous one? Bro, like I was telling you guys at the beginning of the stream, I'm telling you, it's just like this bull run has really been different, been very different than a lot of the previous bull runs, especially 2021. So I hope, right? But hope isn't going to do us anything, right? But I do hope that we do see a massive bull run, in these next few months, this next, 4 to 6 months as we're getting into 2025, because you guys do know that's what I'm not predicting, but that's what I'm speculating that we're most likely going to be getting towards is the end of this year, beginning of 2025, as long as this market, this economy can hold, right? I think it opened a lot of people's eyes, like myself. Remember a year ago, everywhere you turned on the TV, all the analysts were like, we're about to go through a recession. We're about to go through a recession. And then in the last year, you haven't really heard about that really, right? You knew that the economy's not doing the best, right? If you're in corporate, like I am, I'm involved with corporate, and a lot of people around me are in corporate, high-paying jobs and stuff like that. Believe it or not, yeah, right? Crips and corporate and stuff like that. And I've seen a lot of people around me, a lot of friends, a lot of family that have gotten laid off, right? That are in high-position jobs from billion-dollar companies, right? And they're still looking for work. College degree people, right? That are going through it right now because the economy is not doing good, right? From a corporate stance, right? So we've heard about all this stuff. I've seen it. I've been seeing it for the last 8 months, like massive layoffs, and stuff like that all around me. Well, now since that Japan thing hit, it's like it opened my eyes. So I was like, holy crap, I knew the economy wasn't doing that good, but at the same time I was like, holy shit, the world economy is not doing that good, right? And it's like almost like we're getting propped up by little like paper sticks, and sometimes those paper sticks will break, like what we saw in Japan, and they kind of got to go over there and refix it, what I'm saying, prop it back up. But it's like, how long is it going to hold for until we see something big happen? And that's what I'm getting to is like, I hope that the economy can hold out for the next 6 months, so we can see the top of this market and a lot of us can cash out, and make some good money. And then we go through a bear market, because let me tell you something, a bear market is not a bad thing, guys. As long as you've cashed out of the market, you actually, when we go through a bear market, you're going to be happy, because now you're going to see some of your favorite projects that you felt like you missed out on, or projects that maybe you bought in on and made profit on this last run. You're getting a whole new chance again, right? Getting a whole new chance to just do it all over again, right? So it's bear markets aren't a bad thing. Actually, if you talk to people that are successful in investments, not only in crypto but in stock market, they make their most money during the bear market, right? Maybe not selling in a bear market, but just getting in, like I always tell you guys, those positions, right? The best ones are presented during the bear market. So don't worry, we're going to be here. I'm going to be here with you guys. Hopefully we're going to be able to top the top of the market, like, signals and stuff like that, because this isn't my first rodeo. You guys know how I am. I'm not like tooting my own horn, but I did call this stuff a few months ago when we were topping out, on this local high that we've had with Bitcoin, right? I told you guys, that it just seemed like we were going to be heading down, and that's pretty much what we've done. I was expecting more of a drop, and we don't know if it's all over with yet, but with the markets, how we do the markets and stuff like that on the show, we should be able to at least point out when we're getting close or somewhere around that top market, so just stick with the channel. We should be good, and we're right there. We'll all be here together, right? It's almost like we're gonna have a big sell-off party, right? And then we'll go right through the bear market, and we'll do it all over again, guys. Old said, Crip, you're going into a dark place. Come back to us, buddy. I'm right here, bro. Khalil said that FTX crash was the best thing that happened to us. Bro, that's what I'm saying. At the time, it was rough. But I'm telling you, after the fact, after the smoke cleared, bro, I was looking, especially for Solana. That's when Solana hit $7. I was like, man, this was a gift from above for anybody that took advantage of it. So let's just jump right into some stories here. So let's see here. Look at, and who knows who this guy is, right? Who knows who this guy is? Just look, Dirty Gary. About that Gary Gensler for Treasury Secretary story. Whew. Did you guys hear about this? So yesterday, a publication called The Washington Reporter released a bombshell story saying, and remember, we're not getting political, saying that Kamala Harris was likely to nominate Gary Gensler as Treasury Secretary if elected. What? I thought this girl was trying to get into office. And she comes out, and we don't know if she said this, right? We don't know how true the story is, but something like this? Are you freaking kidding me right now? So based on unnamed sources, the lead confidentially ran while Publicly Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC chairman Gary Gensler hasn't expressed desire to leave his current role. Multiple senior Senate staffers are telling the Washington Reporter that if Vice President Kamala Harris wins in November, she plans to nominate Gary Gensler as the Treasury Secretary. I believe the Treasury Secretary, that's what, isn't that Janet Yellen's job, if I'm not mistaken? I mean, I don't know if that would be good for him to get the hell out of the SEC, particularly, but that would be, I think, a little bit more terrifying if he's actually running the whole economy's finances, right? Like, that'd be a little bit terrifying in my opinion. But who knows? So if true, this would certainly be a big deal for crypto industry and beyond. Gary Gensler is, let's just say it, universally disliked in the crypto for the SEC's frequent aggressive enforcement actions and for his unwillingness to be clear about what is and what isn't legally permissible when it comes to digital assets. But is this a true story? Let's take a look at the evidence and how this story may have come out. It may be true that multiple senior Senate staffers believe Gary Gensler could be the Treasury Secretary in a Harris administration. Gensler is long believed to have coveted that job, and he would certainly be well qualified. He worked on Wall Street, Goldman Sachs, he has led both the country's primary markets regulators, the SEC and the Commodities Future Trading Commission, and he was a professor at MIT. Do you guys know that? He was a professor at MIT where he taught, you ready for this? Where he taught blockchain technology. Go look it up on YouTube after the video. Gary Gensler, MIT, 10 years ago. The guy is literally in a dorm with probably 100 students in front of him, and he is literally the most bullish person in crypto teaching about blockchain technology, right? Isn't it crazy? Absolutely crazy. He's a well-rounded, experienced economic public servant. Why wouldn't he be considered as a Treasury Secretary candidate? Putting aside that Harris needs to win the presidency, the Senate majority, and persuade both Democratic and Republican senators to support his nomination, it's certainly possible Gensler could get the job next year, though according to most experts, this is unlikely. Yeah, this is craziness right here. I mean, like they said, it would be a lot of hurdles for him to get into it. But I mean, I don't know. The reason why I just picked this story up was really just because, and like I said, I'm telling you guys, I can't express it enough. I don't really care who you're voting for, right? You'll never hear me on this channel persuading you to vote towards a certain direction because this isn't that kind of channel, right? There's plenty of them on YouTube, as far as on both sides. We're not doing that, but we are going to state facts, right? And this guy has been a negative force on crypto, right? He's been a negative force on crypto for the most part. He did get his ass handed to by XRP, and he was forced to, finally approve a Bitcoin ETF, after denying it over and over. He has come up after multiple central exchanges, a lot of them actually leaving the country, right, and stopping trading in America, So when you take all this into consideration, right, the fact that he could get promoted and actually be pretty much governing over all the treasury of the United States is a little terrifying for crypto. It really is a little terrifying because if he can do it as far as any kind of like with the banks not being able to do business, right, he could shut us down, like as far as you being able to do inflows and outflows out of your bank going to central exchanges if he got into this position, like it's a little scary. It really is. It's a little scary. And the fact is that there's a candidate that's willing to put him in this position. To me, like I tell you guys, I don't care who you're voting for, but when I see stuff like this, it's like I don't know. Like it just kind of blows my mind. Like I'm like, holy crap! Like I feel like Kamala and the left, it's really the left. The whole left party. They do not like crypto. They do not like crypto for whatever reason. You guys can speculate your own with whatever you want. It's just they're showing through their actions that they truly hate Bitcoin. So let's hope that everything comes in favor with us with crypto, because at the end of the day, like I tell you guys, they're not going to stop crypto, but they definitely have ways of crippling it and postponing it, slowing it down, stuff like that. And we've seen that when we saw, just like someone brought up, the FTX debacle and all that stuff, even though that wasn't necessarily the left per se, but we saw stuff like that happening to where it was like just one damning thing after another happening during the bear market that was just like basically kicking someone while they were down, and the somebody that was down was the crypto space, right? And then we saw, when they were opening up investigations and going after like Coinbase and going after XRP, this was all during the bear market, right? It was just like every day it was like, can anything get worse? Hold my beer is what the what the government was saying, and they would come the next day, it would be something next, right? And we'd keep bottoming out, and we're like, all right, well, this is it, right? This is the bottom. And then like a week later, something else come out and you're like, holy shit. Let's see here. Old said, I saw a show on Tubi about another fraudster, some Russian lady in OneCoin. I have no idea, brother. You just described probably something that happens like 10 times a year across the world, like, and I'm talking about like the big operations where like not Mt. Gox, Silk Road, dude, was like a guy and a girl. And if you saw the picture of these two people, you'd be like, what the hell? It looked like suburb like lady and a suburb guy that ended up in like hacking like 2 point something billion dollars worth of Bitcoin, like something insane, right? So I mean, it's just like, it just blows your mind how some of these people are able to run some of these schemes. At the end of the day, it just makes the crypto space look terrible, So let's see here. So Bitcoin open interest surges to 365 million ahead of U.S. elections. So wasn't it weird last night that Bitcoin was running, right? And it was the Democratic convention last night, right? I wasn't watching it particularly, but I was like, what the hell? Like the crypto was moving. Crypto started running during the convention. I was like, I wonder if someone mentioned crypto. But I didn't see anything in regards to that, but it was a little odd. A little odd. So traders have locked in 365 million in Bitcoin options expiring 4 days after November 4th U.S. presidential election. The so-called election expiry options due to the settlement on November the 8th began trading on Durbit a month ago. Let's see here. So early introduction of the 8th of November U.S. election expiry. Based on the client demand, we have decided to introduce the 8th November 2024 options expiry ahead of the regular introduction timing. Okay. Since the let's see here, the notional open interest or the total dollar value of active option contracts stands at 364.065 million. This significant accumulation is fueled by speculation on how the impending U.S. election might affect the digital assets industry, hoping to capitalize on the volatile opportunity the significant news event brings. So I wonder if they're going to tell us. So call options, which offer an unlimited upside potential with limited downside risk, account for 67% of total open interest, while put options will provide protections against price drops, making up the remaining 33%. This result in a put-call ratio of less than 0.5, indicating that twice as many calls are open compared to puts. This distribution reflects a generally bullish outlook among traders, suggesting that they are betting on a significant price increase following the election. So, with that being said, you can see there's a lot of people that are running with these call options, right? And they're basically saying that majority of them are actually indicating that the market is going to rally post-election, right? So you notice how they're not indicating any particular person winning. They're just saying that if that after the election, which is going to be, I believe, on the 6th or the 8th of November, which is technically that's in less than 3 months from now, that they're saying that a lot of people are betting that the markets are going to be moving towards the upside, which I'm kind of betting the same thing too. Like I told you guys, I really do think towards the last bit of this year, the last quarter, and going into 2025 is going to be our run. It's going to be our run. So, and the question is if that is the run, how long is the run going to be, right? That's the question. That's what we were talking about at the beginning of the stream. So broadly speaking, open interest is concentrated in higher stake calling, ranging from 70,000 to 140,000. Traders are positioning for a potential new Bitcoin all-time high, surpassing its previous peak of $73,750.07. The most anticipated of which is a strike piece of 80,000, boasting an open interest of over 39 million. To explain, so it's basically almost like leverage trading, right? They're putting in strike prices, basically indicating that they think that the price is going to at least get to 80K. I think a lot of people are if they're doing this because this is risky, right? It's risky. But the reason why they're doing for 80K is because 80K is not far from that all-time high, right? So they figure, yeah, these people, whoever these people are, right? They're thinking, yeah, Bitcoin is going to run to all-time highs, but I'm not confident on, 100 grand, 120. I'm going to go towards a more conservative and say that, yeah, Bitcoin will make all-time highs. 80,000 is where majority of these strike prices are anticipating, right? So let's see here. So, however, traders show similar confidence that we will exceed this mark with 36.5 million back in a strike price of $120,000. And then you have the other people like, oh, really? Hold my beer. Hold my tea. I'm putting it in for 120. We're going up. So with that being said, that's bullish. You know what I'm saying? That's bullish that we have a lot of money right here that are indicating or that are betting basically that after the elections that we're at least going to see all-time highs, right? Now, let's do the scenario of $120,000. $120,000, that wouldn't be Bitcoin just running up. Let's say the elections we get into November, right? And we're getting into the elections. Who cares who wins, right? We're not talking about that right now. We get into the elections. We get it past the elections and Bitcoin is around 70,000, let's just say, right? We're using the scenario of that the 120 does go into effect, $120,000. It's not going to be like a week after the election, Bitcoin's at 120. it's going to take some time, right? I mean, it's going to feel like we're shooting up, right? Because Bitcoin's going to be moving at increments of $5,000, $10,000 a day, right? But you know how it goes. We don't move straight up. We're going to be, we have a day where we're up 5,000. Next day we have a day that we're down maybe $2,000, but we're still tricking up. So what I'm getting to is if we do see that 120, that's going to be that bull market run where it's going to take some time, but we're going to be running, right? We're going to be running and running and running. So you're talking about a solid month or two, maybe even longer, where Bitcoin is just having this climb up to 120,000. That would be the best scenario that we could see right there, because that would build up so much confidence in the market, right? I think if we did get up to those numbers, that altcoins would absolutely freaking go crazy. And to answer, one of the questions that we first started with at the beginning of the stream, do I think this is going to be a bigger bull run? If we get to 120, that technically can, this is the biggest bull run that we've seen, right? Because if you really think about it, if you go all the way back to Bitcoin, going back in the bear market just 2 years ago, year and a half ago, we bottomed out at what, 15K? And let's say we get up to 120,000, that's over a 10x right there. That's over, or I'm sorry, no, that's not a 10x. That's close to a 10x. It's like around an 8x right there. But that's a move, that's a big move. I don't think that would go into history books of the biggest run for Bitcoin. But you gotta understand, Bitcoin's not at $100 anymore. When we go back and you look at some of these comparing the bull market, the bull runs, yeah, when Bitcoin was at $100 and it went up to 3,000, those are going to be those epic bull runs. We're not at those prices anymore, unfortunately, right? So the only way that we'll see a competing bull run like that would be if Bitcoin ran up to like, a few $100,000. That's when, we would officially be like, well, this Bitcoin saw the most gains on this bull run. I don't know if we're going to see that just because of how high Bitcoin already is. Like let's say this is the bottom of where we're at right now, at 59, 60,000. Think about that, 60 freaking K at the bottom. Last bull run, our bottom was at $28,000. When we were in the bull run and we bottomed again, we went down to 28K. If this is our bottom at 49, technically, is where we were at just last week, bro, that's a lot higher. It's a lot higher, So let's see here. So the indecision is largely driven by the contrasting approaching of leading candidates Kamala Harris and Donald Trump towards cryptocurrency. Donald Trump has undergone a notable shift in his position on crypto despite previous labeling Bitcoin a scam. On June 14th, he declared that he would end the Biden administration's war on crypto if elected president. Trump also previously criticized Biden for his harsh stance on cryptocurrency, emphasizing that the United States should strive to be a leader in the crypto industry. In contrast, Kamala Harris' stance on crypto remains ambiguous. Her campaign has largely avoided the topic. You notice that? I have noticed that she has not. She was going to go talk at the Bitcoin conference, and that would have been a good thing, I think. Like I said, because at the end of the day, whoever wins, we want them to be bullish on crypto, right? And she didn't show up to the conference, and since then, you haven't heard a freaking peep about crypto on the left whatsoever, which is a little bit nerve-wracking. And then now we go to the article that we just read about, possible Gary Gensler and stuff like that. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Meanwhile, sources have cited both advancements towards a favorable crypto stance and continuation of the Biden administration's rigorous regulatory stance. A survey conducted by the Harris Poll has revealed that 1 in 3 voters in the U.S. consider a candidate position on cryptocurrencies before making voting decisions. That's a big thing. 30% of voters right now are potentially looking at the candidate as far as what are you bringing to the crypto table. That is a big thing, and you would think that the left would be capitalizing on this, right? You would think they would be capitalizing on this. So don't sleep on them yet, though, because they're till the damn election. Who knows what the hell is going to be happening, right? So. And let's see here. Another survey conducted by leading crypto ventures capital firm Peregrine revealed that Trump's poll numbers for the 2024 presidential election enjoy a significant support from the crypto community. However, polymarket bettors appear to have shifted slightly in favor of Kamala Harris's win. And let's go over to polymarket real quick. Trusted old polymarket. And you guys can see, oh, look at this. As of yesterday, I don't know what shifted, but look at this. As of yesterday, Kamala Harris was at 50%, right? Kamala Harris was at 50% yesterday, and Donald Trump was at 48%. And look at this. Freaking, it shifted over. I wonder after the DNC or whatever convention, it shifted over to now 50% of 50% are calling that they're speculating that Trump's going to win, and Harris is at 48%. Bro, this is getting, I mean, regardless, very tight race, right? Very tight race as far as the polls, right? As far as the polls for right here. So, I swear, guys, I'm going to try to do some betting on here. I don't know. Has anybody in the States tried to do any betting on, or whatever you want to call this? I guess, yeah, betting on Polymarket. I was told that we weren't allowed to do it in the States. So, I'm running out of water here. So, however, and I know I already read this, but however, polymarket bettors appear to have shifted slightly in favor of Kamala Harris' win. And look at that. Whenever this article came out, it's shifted over. When did this article drop? Oh shit! This is from yesterday, last night. So this is actually an old article. Sheesh. So yeah, it shifted over. It shifted over. So we'll see how it goes, guys. I can't tell you. I can't wait till we get on here and I don't have to freaking bring up any politics. I mean, I really don't have to right now, but we would be missing out on so much stories and stuff right now. German regulator confiscates 13 Bitcoin ATMs over money laundering. Oh, God. Please tell me they don't get any more Bitcoin. We don't need the German government to get any more Bitcoin. I'm looking to see if there's any more like big stories. Nothing else really. Ricky said soon we'll be too rich to care. Exactly, bro. I envy people that are like wealthy right now, that are like, that don't live inner city, that live like in Colorado on the side of a mountain. And they follow politics, but they're just like sitting with their family. They're like, bro, we have everything we need out here, right? If they want to go crazy, in the cities and stuff like that, let them be. Like that's got to be a comfortable feeling. It really does. Not Donald Trump, but our Donald, said real polls have her down 8 points down in most states. You know what, bro? Like, I don't honestly, bro, those polls, I really don't, pay too much mind into them. You know what I'm saying? Because if you think about it, how they generate those polls, and they're asking like maybe 100,000 people, like who they're voting for or whatever the case is, and it doesn't really reflect on a broad spectrum, like everybody, So at the end of the day, you're going to see that probably shift over to where this person's up on the polls right now, and then something happens in that poll, it's going to keep shifting. But, the best poll is going to be right there November 9th or November 8th, that night. That's going to be the best poll right there. And you know what? We're going to be right here broadcasting it. We are. We're going to be right here broadcasting it. And you know what? We're going to have everybody in the chat just going at it. Nicely, though. Nicely. So this will be your official election night channel. We'll be here live with the popcorn. I'll have the damn teas, the cold teas on deck. And we'll be sitting here monitoring who the hell is actually going to win. So we'll see. So just to recap, guys, Bitcoin right now, sitting around that 59.2. Tomorrow we have the FOMC minutes. Like I said, it's going to be dropping in the morning. Normally, if something big in the morning happens, we usually stream. But we're not really going to stream tomorrow morning because it's going to be a big nothing burger in my opinion. We might see a little bit of volatility tonight going into tomorrow morning. But I'm not really too worried about anything too much going on with the FOMC minutes. Fed Chair Powell speech, Jackson Hole, that's going to be on Friday the 23rd. That's going to be more of the bigger thing, just because people are going to be more focused on what Jerome has to say in regards to the last CPI report and what we have for September in regards to the FOMC meeting. So Gina said, damn right, Crip. You already know. So, but other than that, guys, that's pretty much it. I'm going to leave it there. Everything's looking good. Make sure you guys, if you're looking to get rich fast, I'm just kidding. But if you are looking to definitely jump in with the squad, check out No FUD Koala NFK on Solana. Right now, it is a steal. We're not looking bad. We're up about 15% for the day, so we'll see how it plays out. I am going to keep my eye out on this Restore the Public. The only reason is because this still has high volume coming in, $1 million in volume. So the market cap for $1 million volume, the market cap, that's 25% of its market cap. That's solid, right? So if this thing drops down towards this 41 level is what I'm looking for, as far as possibly accumulating some of the project for a quick move, not holding much, but just a quick move, jumping in, jumping out, hopefully on a big run. So we'll see how that plays out. But other than that, guys, I thank you so much. Thank you for being here tonight. I really do appreciate each and every one of you guys. I appreciate you guys for hitting the like button, because I know each and every one of you guys did, right? Thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate you guys. You guys be safe out there. Keep your heads up. Don't get bored. Don't get bored out of your position. We're going to be fine, guys. All right? I will be back here tomorrow with each and every one of you guys. You guys have a safe, wonderful night. I'll see you guys tomorrow. All right, guys?